All right, so here we go. Even though I mostly do traditional tattooing, um, I've been tattooing going on almost 20 years, well, 20 years now. So um, I figured I'd do a quick little tutorial on on some little tricks of the trade, and we'll see. We'll see if it works out. Then maybe I'll do more. For now, we'll start off with this one and see how people react. Because some people get really mad when you give away secrets. Because the secrets are what separate the men from the boys. So hopefully none of my peers or mentors get too upset. Uh, I feel like this is an important thing to know in any way if you're gonna try to do any type of traditional Japanese or even traditional tattooing, and you want to give it kind of that Japanese water look. So today we're gonna do something very often referred to as finger waves or sock waves, and and I'm really gonna test the paradigm here because I I happen to be at home and I couldn't find a pencil, so we're gonna be doing it with a pen, which gives you no forgiveness, no way to um, erase and restart or clean it up. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it's not a disaster. Um, Usually in a lot of ways what you'll have is for instance is you'll have like a say for instance a fin koi fish and you want to add those finger waves splashing from the back of it, and you want them to go in the proper direction and you want them to work out right. So the first thing we're going to do is, once again, we're working with a pen here. We're going to just kind of give ourselves a fin shape. And we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll just say that's our fishy. So here we go. We're just gonna go ahead just to give you guys a little bit of ideal here of what we're backing up against. This is real basic, mind you. All right. So you're gonna have a koi shape going this way and coming this way, and then maybe, you know what I mean, the head over here. You know what I mean? Um, Man, this pen sucks. You get the idea, though. Okay, so we're just gonna say, for instance, that we're just trying to do some splashing waves off of the off of our body shape here. So here's how it pretty much works. Okay, what we're gonna do is, never mind this bullshit. First off, that's all for shits and gigs. Anyway, so this is how I like to do it. I always start off with the direction of the splash. Okay, so we're probably gonna want to come this way, like back here. We're gonna want to come in this direction, and then up here we're gonna want to come probably up in this direction. So that's the way we're gonna work. So first off, you want to give yourself some pretty vicious guidelines. Yeah, I know it's cute, almost like a rainbow, right? But that's not how it works. Here's the key to how it works. What we're going to do is we are going to build these waves as needed off of our shapes. I know as wacky as that looks, just please pay attention. You'll figure it out in a minute, I promise. And you always want to be careful of congruent lines. You don't want things to run into each other. Like I said, keep in mind I'm doing this with a pen for lack of actual pencil at the moment. But like, you don't want to meet that intersection. You want to come up off of there and give yourself the ability to work back into it. Once again, keeping it from being a congruent line. Stupid pen. And then we're gonna bring that back. And again, we come into the same situation. We'll work into the next piece. And there we go. And then obviously you can fill in some holes in the waves, which is always a nice effect. And you know, underneath all of these are, I mean, technically considered white caps. So when you go into color them or shade them, that's how you're going to get down. You're going to want to leave those white caps, those large curls, and work off of those for the most part. Once again, like I said, I'm working with a pen here. So but as you see, now we have our action. Now we have our movement. You know, and then from there you can come in and obviously like add your cherry blossoms. Once again, keep in mind I'm using a pen, so don't judge your boy too much here. I'm just simply trying to give a basic tutorial of what's going on here. A lot of people like to put the little lines in there. I don't know. I'll do it either way. My favorite really is when you decide to add the cherry blossoms. You can do cool stuff. Like you can do like the bending leaves falling off, and even some of the petals and whatnot falling. And obviously you want to make it interactive. You want to make it more 3D. So what you're going to do obviously is like there's going to be points at which, you know, where you're going to want certain things to overlap other things. So you want things to kind of be a little cluttered or a little kind of covered. They give it that feeling of not being so one or two dimensional. So that's always nice. And that can give it that kind of, that kind of action. But this is, a lot of people don't understand, but this is really, I always found it in my 20 years of tattooing as being like literally one of the hardest things I'd ever do. Until I could figure out kind of the concept of the way it worked and the motion of it, the fluid motion. I really never could really gather it, and you can do this in layers. And then you can also, if you do it with a pencil, you can also overlap some of these guys and give that even more of a fluid motion. But, even down here, you might want to go hard. You might want to get a little crazy and keep that motion going. So, you keep that whole concept alive. And again, do whatever kind of shading you can to kind of keep those curls, those white caps alive, because the white caps are what are kind of defining of the piece. But I really think you get the basic idea at this point. It's about fluid motion, and then obviously on this side, you would, like I said, it's almost like a figure eight, just like the koi fish. So you'd want to come the opposite way. Obviously, you would want to work off of it. In the opposite way, kind of. And this is another skill entirely, is being able to do this from both sides, because this ain't for the faint-hearted. I wouldn't say you have to be ambidextrous to pull it off, but definitely don't be afraid of of flipping the paper if that's what works better for you. You obviously, it's not all gonna work out perfect. Nobody's a complete ninja, especially not the first time they try stuff like this. But the more effort you give it, the more it just kind of comes together, and you can have a little more fun with it, and you kind of feel it out. So you can kind of get your shapes in there, and you can, come into those spaces underneath those white caps, and really get them to stand out well, because that's important. That really gives it a lot more dimension. But I believe if given time and you actually take the time to kind of work it out, I really think anybody can kind of figure out this concept. It doesn't take a genius, but it's not easy. But the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And I really think, you'll appreciate the concept. And at the same time, you can take these concepts and spread them out a little better. Once again, as I said, I'm using a pen, and I'm doing half of this backwards for the sake of the video. So try not to judge too much. I would appreciate that. But I understand if that's kind of where you're at. Like I said, I never claimed to be the master of this concept. I just know over time this has kind of been a concept that's really helped me kind of nail down this whole water thing, because finger waves are not really for the faint-hearted. I know I struggled with them for years. So, you know, there's a lot of ways. A lot of artists have different concepts and ways of doing them. But you get the concept. I mean, I do believe if you just you know, pay attention, give it some effort, you'll really see some cool stuff start happening. If you give it the attention it deserves, and you really want to incorporate that kind of stuff into your artwork, I think you'll really be stoked at like the end result of your labors if you just give it some effort, man. Just give it a try, and don't cheat yourself. You know, don't try to like. Don't try to trace them. Don't try to force it. Just work on it, man. And if you work on it, you'll be real surprised with how nicely this stuff will come out if you really give it some effort, you know, and give it a try. So there's that. I appreciate y'all paying attention. Have a nice day. Deuces.